Sorry about the way that last video cut off. My camera only let me record like 4 minutes. I think it was like 3 minutes and 22 seconds of a video. I guess I had too many pictures in my phone. Back to what I was saying. This is part 2 of masculinity. I guess it really all came down to how I saw myself. Yeah, it really comes down to how I see myself, because I know that I'm not the most masculine person or man. But what is masculinity other than what we're told it is? And by me being a spiritual being, by me being as open that I am, it took for me to take what I believed and practice it and lived it. You know what I'm saying? Because when I would see other feminine studs or men, I wouldn't be bothered by it, and I wouldn't even comment on it, but other people would, and I will always be the one that's like, him being feminine doesn't, take away from him being a man. You know what I'm saying? So it took for me to believe that, understand that, and in order to accept that about myself. Like I said, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and for some reason there I was like really feminine to people, even though I didn't feel like I don't feel like I'm really feminine, but I know that I am. Well, I wrote it that wrong. I don't feel like I'm really feminine, but I know that I'm not really masculine. Like, I'm not as masculine as I would like to be. I think if it was a class on masculinity, I'll probably go. But I accept who I am nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate who I am nonetheless. I love who I am nonetheless. So to all you studs out there, or men out there that's feminine, or you don't fit people's perception about or perception of what a man is or what masculinity is. It's all about your acceptance of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and there I was just the most feminine motherfucker people, and I didn't feel like I was. But once I stepped outside of Cleveland, I never got that again. So again, I guess it's perception, because I live in Youngstown now, and I never hear people tell me that I'm feminine, ever. When I went to Detroit, Michigan, I've never, had people tell me that I was feminine. As a matter of fact, everywhere outside of Cleveland, people call me by my correct pronouns. You know what I'm saying? When I went to Detroit, Michigan, nobody never called me a female. When I went to Youngstown, or now that I'm in Youngstown, I hardly ever get called a female. But once I step back into Cleveland, I get the wrong pronouns all the time. Not as much no more, because I got these sideburns popping severely. So yeah, I guess it came down to my perception of it, because I understand that I'm a man, and I also accept that I am not as masculine as I want to be. But I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. I have little fears about it, though.
Daddy?
I do. I have little fears about it. Fear number 1. I fear that because I'm not as masculine, I would want to be, that my son isn't gonna be as masculine as I would want him to be. Number 2, I fear that when my facial hair and everything grows in, and I look completely manly, for lack of a better term, that because I'm not as masculine as I would want to be, because I plan to to stop claiming my transition, and live stealth and only tell the people that's personally in my life. I fear that because I'm not as masculine, that I will out myself, if that makes sense. Fear number 3. I fear that my son will find out that I'm trans somewhere down the line, and for a brief moment I change in his eyes. You know what I mean? Like, I quit being the man that he looked up to all his life and became like this weird fucking test tube daddy. I think that might be my biggest one. That is my absolute biggest fear, that when he found out that I'm trans, that I change in his eyes. I know that eventually he'll come back to it and I'll be the dad that he remembered me being, but for whatever time that it is that he's angry at me, because I know it's gonna happen, he's gonna feel like I've been lying to him his whole life. And you know, how do you tell your kid that you trans? You know what I mean? Like, and it's a lot of times that I feel like, you know, why does he need to know? I mean, by the time he's at an age where he's even able to understand, there's not going to be, you know, a trace of my past life left. You know what I mean? So he won't find out, but then it's like, what if he does? You know, so I know that I got to tell him. So I fear that moment the most. I do. I fear the fuck out of that moment. So that's Tut back there. So those are my fears. And this is the video, part 2. If y'all have any topics y'all want me to touch on, anything you want me to talk about, you know, just leave it in the comments down there. Follow my YouTube. Follow, like, subscribe, share. Instagram, Melanated King. Facebook, Aaron Seiler Burdash. Like I said, this is my transition. This is my life. Thanks for watching.